well, the haves versus the have-nots, I think. Yeah. My webcam. What? Carmel has jumped in and taken the spot of West Lafayette, which has been good for the entirety of it. But the numbers haven't gone up. Yes. So, first off, thank you for coming. I wasn't sure what the turnout was going to be for this. This is bigger than I thought. We really appreciate you. There will be a number of thank yous here. We love this night because it gives us a chance to publicly talk about our kids. So much of what we do is behind the scenes, and this gives us a chance to kind of explain things. There's also some excitedness tonight because I'm making eye contact with kids that I literally have not seen in a year or two. It feels like, at least at this point in time. So we hope to have a wonderful night. You can feel free to spread out throughout the entirety of the auditorium. We should have plenty of space. We are shooting at the earliest to be done in an hour, at the latest in an hour and a half. Okay? So we have a quick little introduction video. I outsourced this to a couple of juniors, so it's on them.
Intro video. For the intro video, hello. My favorite part of speech and debate is when you're not doing it. There are so many videos on my phone.
The audio gets a little better.
Watch, we'll be 9 minutes in, and I won't have any more storage. Best intro video ever! Fun fact from Mr. McCoy.
I'm 5'9".
Wow. Do you have any propaganda you want spread?
Yeah. Save the planet.
Wait, what about coaches? Nobody is behind the camera telling us to say anything unprovoked. We love it. Yeah. There's nobody telling us to say these things. We are saying these on our own accord. Are we? Come join the speech and debate team, and you'll get to measure how tall Miranda is. She is indeed 1 foot tall. That is not an activity we do.
What's this? Is this the song?
Castaways. We are castaways.
Is this the backyard again?
No house, no car. We were out at sea.
In the arms of an angel, fly away. Good luck, Mr. Lowy. Mr. Meowy.
And then here was the backup.
This was not the easiest of years. We ended last season forbidden from reaching out to our students for work sessions. We began this year full of uncertainty. We started 2 weeks later than our peer competitors. At the beginning of the year, our team was broken, split along divisions of in-person and remote, A through Ks, unable to see those in the L through Z cohort. Time together, actually together, correlated to an hour and 15 minutes per week. This wasn't the way that speech and debate was designed to function. It wasn't the way that our society is meant to function. The new normal presented us with a list of shoulda, woulda, and coulda conundrums. Pride, tradition, and excellence, the motto of our program since its founding in 1967, had to be reimagined. Pride was no longer walking into another school's cafeteria with the knowledge that others were fearfully whispering the words, "Chesterton is here." Tradition was broken. Team functions were canceled or changed to the point where they were unrecognizable. Projects that had been done for the previous 50 years sat unfinished this year. The things that we had always done were not allowed to be done. Excellence was the most affected, not in the standards set by our students, but by the staff. There were no demands of perfection. We all knew that there were bigger things going on this year than the color of a ribbon or the size of a trophy. This season asked new questions of all of us. What was our motivation? Who were we going to be? How would we respond to setbacks? Not everyone made it. The going was too tough for several members of our family. The challenges too much to overcome, the pain overcoming the pleasure. The motivation from the outside wasn't enough to master internal fear and doubt anymore. When facing an adversity, you can think about what you should do. You can think about what you would have done, but your body won't go where your mind won't push it. Sometimes the only way is through. The group that we celebrate tonight is the group that made it through. We don't have a team state championship to show for this season, but the stories that we share tonight will remind us that this group is special. They were there when we started this year's race, and their efforts ensured that we got to where we are right now. When it comes to success in life, resiliency in the face of adversity has been proven to be more important than your IQ or your test scores. The moments that define us have never been the times that something has been handed to us. They are the times where we must claw our way through the obstacles in front of us. This group has stared adversity in the face, even though they have had to do that staring through a computer screen. They worked until their weaknesses became their strengths. They discovered that their voice matters, and they utilized it. They banded together and exemplified the idea that nothing can stop us if we are together. Today, pride, tradition, and excellence remain the motto of Chesterton's most successful program. But like everything else, the meaning behind the words have changed. This year, pride was exemplified in our students' willingness to continue, taking one step at a time to perfect their performance. New traditions were begun as students and staff found new ways to bond. Excellence was measured in time spent doing something we love with those whom we are proud to identify as friends, rather than just teammates. Those that have gone through our program over the last 15 months never have to worry about what will be said about you. You showed everyone what was possible. Others will be told that during the most difficult of times, this group kept going. You exemplified the idea that it is not the size of your burdens that affect you, but how you decide to carry those burdens. Your legacy will not only be measured by your performance this year, but in future performances, by the students that you helped to mentor, whom you gave an encouraging word to, and by those for whom you took your precious time to give to others. The pandemic gave us all the opportunity to be selfish, to recede from the wider world, and to give up our most time-consuming and difficult obligations. Today, we celebrate those who saw that opportunity and said, no thanks. Tonight, we celebrate those that invoke Walt Disney, who told us that all our dreams can come true if we have the courage to pursue them. We celebrate those who knew what Mark Twain meant when he told us that the secret of getting ahead is getting started. And we celebrate those who lived out the advice of Aristotle, who said that we are what we repeatedly do. Excellence, then, is not an act, but a habit. To all those who persevered through the most challenging of years, our best and brightest years are still ahead of us, thanks in large part to what you did this year.
Two of our coaches couldn't be here tonight. Taylor Alexander had another job that he had to do. Joshua Coots sends his regards. He had a daughter named Nora that was born 12 weeks ago. Her due date is in 2 weeks. And tomorrow he gets to take her home for the first time from NICU. So he sends his regards, and he has a very long metaphor that I will share with the kids after the ceremony when we move into the cafeteria. But he sends his wishes and wishes he could be here. We are also recording this on Zoom so that some people who are traveling or at home are able to see it. So we may talk about some kids, even though we know they're not here or are not sure that they are not here, because they might watch the recording or they might be watching live. Lastly, you might see some coaches or speakers take their mask off once they're at the podium. That keeps with the policy that Duneland has been doing at their award presentations throughout the season. We'll keep them on as soon as we move away. Lastly, when we get to individual awards and coaches are talking to kids, it's really on you here. If you want a fist bump, you got to signal that. If you want a handshake, signal it. If you want a side hug, it's on you, okay? So you really need to kind of identify what your level of COVID awareness, et cetera, is, your comfort level, that type of stuff. So with that, we have a couple of scholarships that we give, 3 to be precise. Our very first one is the Guerin Excellence in Debate Award. Here to introduce why they give this award and to identify the winner is Tom Guerin, who's a graduate of our program from 2008. And it's been his family that has sponsored this for roughly the last 5 or 6 years. So I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Guerin.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Just go ahead and space bar.
Oh, nice. That's not a good picture. Thank you, Mr. Lowry, for letting me present this scholarship tonight. Usually it's my parents who do this, so it's kind of a special opportunity for me to be here. I know you guys didn't come to listen to me talk today, so I will try to only stick to 10 or 11 brief contentions and 3 or 4 subpoints per contention. So contention 1. Um, seriously though, there's just one thing that I want to say before I announce the winner. And when I was thinking about how I wanted to speak tonight, I thought, what could I say to myself when I was sitting in your shoes in 2008 at my senior awards? And the one thing that came up for me was, I wish I could go back and tell myself not to forget that every person that you meet along your journey in life is a valuable person who has something to teach you. Sometimes when you are successful in competition or in academics, it's easy to overlook people who maybe aren't involved in similar activities or aren't on the same status level as you. And something that I've learned since graduating high school is that really everyone does have something to teach you. Some people that you meet along the way will teach you good things. Some people will teach you lessons about what you don't want out of life. Some people will give you good examples and some people will give you bad examples. So I guess my lesson to you would just be, remember that every person you meet has something valuable to teach you, regardless of their status or their position or what they've accomplished in their past. So anyway, what you're really here for is the young man who's receiving the scholarship today. He was chosen because we were told that he was the hardest working person on the team. My sister and I made a habit of closing the debate room every night along with the janitorial staff. We're told that this person was similarly a hard worker, although you probably weren't able to do that this year. So he was chosen because of his relentless work ethic and dedication to growing his skills inside and outside the debate room. So congratulations to Ryan Donovan.
I'll have something for you later. So we have been rushed this year. Normally, there's an envelope with these scholarships that goes to them. There is a nice IOU that I'm publicly and on recording saying towards that. Our second one is another one that's been going on for a number of years, and it's once again a family that has put kids through our program. The team knows Jim Vincent. He judges with us every single week. We occasionally drag his wife Lori as well. They put 3 kids through our program and are still giving back, including his love of debate, which I believe was somewhere a few decades ago in California. So here to introduce the Vincent Family Team Award, and its recipient is Jim Vincent.
Well, whether you are a debater, a speechie, or both, I know this has been a most unusual year for you. The new normal has been the virtual tournament, competing online rather than in person at various high schools. Of course, there is at least one plus that I can think of, not having to board a bus before sunrise to travel to Elkhart or Carmel. So that's good. But it does make team spirit and encouraging fellow teammates harder to do. To reassure and inspire other members of the team has to be more intentional. And that is what the recipient of this year's team award has done in several ways. The recipient of this award has been on the team all 4 years. As Coach Laurie says, she's one of the hearts that ensure that our team's head is in the right place. He explains that besides being an outstanding competitor in multiple events, Anna Sanders has been seen doing the little things that make the differences for her teammates. Some of the examples that the coaches gave us as to her worthiness for this scholarship were: 1, she embraced the transition from Mr. Kelly to Mr. McCoy as coach of the speech program. By her embracing of this new coach, she made it significantly easier for others to buy into this new guy on the block. Second, She's always volunteering and showing for each team function, both those that are student-led and coach-led. Finally, at the conclusion of this year's state tournament, the speech tournament, she was the one who began to talk to the returning students. She spoke not only about this year and their performance, but how they could get back to this stage next year. When the coaches weren't looking, she was the one leading. Some will look at her, being a 3-time national qualifier, and say she is worthy of this award. But for the coaches and the Vincents, it is Anna's being a team player, an encourager that makes her worthy of the Vincent Team Award. And so we take with great pleasure announcing the recipient of this year's Vincent Team Award is Anna Sanders. Anna? Congratulations, Anna.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Mr. McCoy. I am on the speech side of the program 98% of the time. We have one more scholarship to award tonight, the Christine Pritchard Memorial Scholarship. The Christine Pritchard Memorial Scholarship is one that is not necessarily awarded each year. It commemorates the life of Christine Pritchard, a former teacher, coach, and theater director. In her spirit, the award is given to a senior who is not only active on the speech team, but engaged and passionate about theater as well. I've had the pleasure of working with this year's recipient all 4 years of her time at CHS. During her time here, she was seen in both musical and traditional shows, such as Catholic Girl Gun Club, The Somewhat True Tale of Robin Hood, Done to Death, and The Sound of Music. At times, she struggled to believe that she had the abilities to back her long list of accomplishments, sometimes questioning if perhaps her success was in part because of her or her former coach. But after capping her senior year with a double state championship, I hope she has not only learned that she has the ability, but she owes no one for that but herself. This year's recipient is Lily Roberts.
Okay. Hello, everyone. I'm Mr. Young. I'm both a speech and debate coach here at Chesterton High School. So I'm here to award the multiple degrees that students earn throughout the year. So how students earn points at tournaments are the following. At debate tournaments, students can earn up to 6 points for a victory and 3 points for a loss. For the more tournaments that you go to throughout the year, the more points that you accumulate. On the speech side, for first place, you get 6 points, 5 points for second, 4 points for third place, and we kind of get the picture from there. So again, once you accumulate these points, they're worth something, and the more points that you go to and you accumulate, the more awards that you get across your years. So first, I'm going to go ahead and start with the degrees of merit. Up first is Hillary Ribery. And if you're here, go ahead and come up. We have something for you. Ariel Rodriguez. Audrey Wisman. Alicia Drews. Braden Boyer. Ruth Petsky, Hannah Anders. Then we also have Ariana Kane, Robert Mueller, Liberty Bruno, Matthew Keene, Caitlin Ashbury, Jaden Lawrence, and Avery Robinson. The next stepping stone is 75 points. It's considered the degree of honor. So the recipients from this year's class are Julia Dietrich, Megan Wilcock, Kai Martin, Sophia Warden, Ira Kasheb, Sarah Bennett, Sarah Sahi. Moving on, next is the degree of excellence, which is 150 points. So the following students have earned 150 points this year: Brody Gorski, Katie Papillon, Joshua Pfeiffer, Lindsay Price, Chloe Vanderlyn, Freedom Eden, and Jonathan McClure. Up next is the degree of distinction. That's 250 points across your speech and debate career. Up first is Sarah Vasquez. Next is Josh Hoover, Jackson Dudick, Riste Morosky, Emma Ekblaw, Avery McCurdy, and Hamza Sali. What's up? Fair enough. I also want to go ahead and just apologize if I butcher names. I'm sure I've already done that. I've given the reaction of some of them. Yes, definitely getting a lot of head nods. I apologize ahead of time and for my mistakes. I'm sure I will commit some more. No, are we good? I don't have a good joke. I wish really I had a good joke planned here. Oh, we also have Shay Haisa as well. Didn't realize that was also in there. And Zoe Swanson. I didn't know we needed to keep going. I was told to hold. See if any other names come up. Ethan Croft also on this list. Xander Fish. All right. Sonia Agarwal, Trina Gonzalez, Riley Hawksworth, Megan Nauka, and Greta Burke. And that's it. All right. I was told to hold on. We also have Alexa Londis as well. There we go. Yes. All right. We're just going to wait. Yes. All right. We'll wait. I'll make sure to double hit next time just to make sure that we're good to go. Up next is the distinction of the degree of special distinction. This is 500 points. Gigi Hanner, Natalie Nunez, Nathan Osborne, Tim Wheeler, Sam Burris, Luke Vertrosky, Sydney Pittman. So that is all of them. Good to move on? Okay, all right. Up next is the degree of superior distinction. This is 750 points. Miranda Miller, Ethan Dibble, Milena Veltri, Ryan Donovan, Hattie Hoham. I think that's it. Up next are the students who reach 1,000 points. This is the degree of outstanding distinction. These following students are Anna Sanders, Dylan Levitt, Mark Jewison, and Bello Riccio. All right, now is the 1,500 point club. We have two members here. This is the degree of premium distinction. Those two students are Lily Roberts and Mateus Blute. We now move on to the team awards.
Okay. Hello, everyone. I'm Jamie Spiegel. I'm more on the speech side, but happy to be presenting tonight. I actually have the honor to talk about the Doug Pischker's Difference Makers. For those of you that don't know, Doug Pischker actually was in charge of the speech program way before years ago, and he's actually the reason that I got into speech. So I was actually very honored to get to talk about him and the difference makers. So even though we talk about the most experienced members towards the end of the night, this category might be one of the most important because this is for our first year speech and debate members that really just stood up and showed us their all and really made an impact in the speech and debate team. They just have the willpower and have the ability to make a difference in our program, and especially with the year that we have had, to stick through it as your first year, just thank you. It's an amazing program, and kudos to you for sticking through it, because I hope that you get to see the wonders that speech and debate gets to be without all of the COVID hecticness. So without further ado, Doug Pischker. We have Audrey Wiseman. Oh, sorry. We'll do those one clap speech, and then we'll clap for everyone at the end, if you don't mind. And I am going to apologize because I know that I will mess up some of these names. So Audrey Wiseman, Braden Bloor, Hillary Ribley, Ira Keshop, Jacob Sanders, Jaden Lawrence, Julia Dietrich, Kay Martin, Matthew Keene, Megan Wilcox, Michael Livovich, Robert Mueller, Ruth Peshik, Sophia Warden, and Walter Smith.
This mic is a little too low, but it's okay. Hello, my name is Aaron Drew. I am one of the speech coaches. I mainly just did broadcasting, but I did a few other things here and there. This next section is the Bob Kelly Future Cornerstones. So the Future Cornerstone group is made up of a lot of students who tend to be in their early years, the first or second year of their speech and debate career. They are students who exemplify the attitude and values of the program, and they're individuals who we want to recognize, or we recognize as having the potential to be leaders in and beyond the program. So we want to support them and kind of push them in that direction. So without further ado, and again, if your name gets called, come up, because we want to be able to see your beautiful faces. So the Future Cornerstones. Beautiful. Adam Royster, Ariel Rodriguez, Avery Robinson, Brody Gorski, Freedom Iden, Jonathan McClure, Katie Asbury, Cataly Pampalone, Megan Noka, Riley Hawksworth, Sam Evans, and Sarah Bennett.
Some of these kids have never done a speech award ceremony before. Honestly, this year has been unique.
All right, up next, we have the Glenn Persifield Most Improved Award. He was one of the founding coaches here at Chesterton High School for both speech and debate. All right, and I actually had the privilege of going first. This person that I'm talking about, I've had the privilege of knowing the student not only in a speech and debate capacity, but also through WDSO, our high school radio station here. I know that there have been many times this year that this person has driven multiple of the coaches a little bit crazy, including myself, but the talent definitely cannot be denied. This student over the last 2 years is somebody who has been a two-time national qualifier in international extemporaneous speaking, and will showcase his talents next weekend at the National Catholic Forensic League Tournament. Let's congratulate one winner of the Glenn Persifield Most Improved Awards. This student is Hamza Sali. Okay. Also in this candidate, this next student is a three-year congressional debater, one of the leaders of Congress. She is always one to seek me out for work sessions while balancing a part-time job. She's always willing to go above and beyond to help others, either listening to speeches, coming up with evidence, or listening or helping with arguments, and has taken many novices, including Brody Gorski, underneath her wing this year. She's already looking forward to next year and was the first person to talk to me about doing a summer Congress camp and getting a jump start on writing bills for next year as well. This person is the junior who qualified for nationals in 2020. That was quite a national competition to remember in congressional debate. It is someone that I cannot wait to see her talent really emerge and just really blossom next year in her senior year. So let's congratulate one winner of the Glenn Persifield Most Approved Award winner. That's Savannah Hutchinson. I think I broke the mic.
Right. Jamie, you might just have to project. We might need to change the batteries out on this. We'll work on it. Good thing is we can project.
Being in speech and debate helps that. Okay, so the next person that is going to receive this award, I've had the pleasure of working with all year long. They're not new to the speech and debate team, but new to the speech side. And I was honored that I got to work with this individual. From our very first speech auditions, I knew that this was the person that I wanted to work with. They created their own piece and even came in costume. It was pretty outstanding. And I immediately told Mr. McCoy, I'm like, this is the person that I want to work with. And even though they didn't do the event that I wanted them to do, he excelled in the event that he chose and later went on to excel in humor as well. This is somebody that just puts a smile on your face no matter who he's talking to. You can be sad, you can be down on your luck, and this person just knows what to say. He was a real privilege to work with, and he made my job as a coach so easy because he always came prepared and was always ready to work and was just so excited to be a part of the program. And as a coach, that's just something that I love to see, as a person come in and ready to work and is just in love with the art. So thank you, Joshua Hoover, for making my job as a coach so much easier.
All right, I have an extensive set here that are all Mr. Coots's kids. So he knew he wasn't going to be here tonight. He ended up writing down all of his thoughts. So I'm going to read, to the best of my ability, Mr. Coots's words about these kids. I'll introduce their names first so that they can start coming up here while I'm still talking about them. The first recipients for Most Improved for Mr. Coots are Avery McCurdy and Chloe Vanderlyn. And here's what Josh said about the ladies. In the category of Most Improved, I would like to recognize Avery and Chloe together. Avery and Chloe have an independent spirit that is reflected in their drive to learn and work largely on their own. While I would always like debaters to spend more time working with their coach, there is no denying the motivation involved in keeping yourself going through the season without the constant push from those around you. Avery and Chloe are capable debaters with some pretty impressive potential, and I want to see them break out next year and show us all what they can really do. The next is Emma Ekblaw. So again, Josh's words. Also in the category of Most Improved is Emma Ekblaw. Emma struggled with a few things her novice year, and the beginning of this year, most especially finding a reliable partner with whom she was compatible. Emma finally found that with Sydney, and the two of them made amazing progress in the last part of the season. It is because of that progress that Emma has earned this recognition, and I hope to see that progress continue next year. The next two recipients are also a partnership Riste Morosky and Sam Burris. Josh's words, Riste was new to public forum this year and had to relearn a new style of debate. He was consistently part of our team meetings and made an effort to learn what public forum was all about. Sam Burris, as Riste's partner, was the senior member of the duo with the greater experience. Sam continued developing his understanding of debate and how to formulate more complex arguments this year. Next year, I'm setting a goal for both of them. Find your motivation and turn your talents towards living up to your potential. Not only will you demonstrate to all of us that you are really capable of doing, but you will find a much greater reward for yourself in the end. One more duo, this time Sanya Agarwal and Xander Fish. Josh's thoughts, Sanya and Xander made some changes this year and found a partnership that fit their aspirations and their abilities. This matchup helped both of them improve considerably and found them on their way to nationals. I am very proud of both of them and expect to see next season prove to be an even greater success.
I just have one, so you won't have to sit through all that again. Also was really bad at I don't know how to talk about people in the third person. Also, fix that. I'm gonna just squat so people can see me. It doesn't go up anymore.
Tip the bottom.
Oh, tip the bottom. I don't get the mic. You not the mic. You're not talking about the mic, are you? No, I was talking about the camera. Lowry told me earlier that he's like, hey, you can't see your face in the camera, and I was like, yeah. So now they can see my face. You're welcome. So yeah, I had very little expectations for this year. So for those of you who don't know, this was my first year coaching, and I really didn't know what to expect. And this individual helped blow those expectations kind of out of the water. From when I first heard you do an on the spot at your first meeting that Gigi brought you to, and all the way to your state performance, and all of that was just mind blowing. Your ability to pick up the skills needed to do well in speech allowed us to have a lot of fun playing with different ideas that may have seemed a little odd. Namely, pretending that you're an alien on a spaceship talking about some crazy wacky news on a place called Earth. Seeing your journey through the year was a big part of what made my job as a coach fun. And I'm extraordinarily proud of you and all of your accomplishments. So as the next couple of years pass, I'm very excited to see how much more you are able to grow and succeed. So keep moving forward, and I'll be with you all the way. And that is Jackson Dudek.
I'm Kathy Hadley. I am a speech coach. I do info mostly and public address, but I will work with anyone. I'm here to talk about personal growth and the Barb Funke Award. She was a coach for over 20 years in the speech program and even started before I got involved in 2004 with my boys. Our next category is personal growth. Students in this category have taken adversity of the 2020-2021 school year and grown from it in ways that are either obvious to everyone through their performances, or sometimes only noticed by those who knew them extremely well. These students show a willingness to try different ways to improve and grow, as well as having a very positive attitude while doing so. The first individual who exemplifies personal growth this year is Elia Livovich. I first met Elia last year when she joined the speech team for postseason and discussion. I'm also a disco coach. Elia was a natural fit in disco and was a leader in the postseason last year. And just off script a little bit, you know I adore you. And we have so much fun in our work sessions. And normally it's not a lot of work, but more just kind of talking about life. It is a lot of talking. So we just clicked really well. And I just had so much fun with you last year and this year. This year, you graciously agreed to join us again in postseason, even with the play, even with your work, and even with everything else you had going on. You were focused and you are a lot of fun and you work really hard. And thank you for helping CHS Speech place third at state. Can I give you a hug? Okay. The next speechie who has shown personal growth this year is Sarah Vasquez. Oh, Sarah. Oh, I'm so bummed that she's not here. I adore Sarah. I adore all of them. But Sarah was in discussion with me last year and struggled a lot. She had a lot of disappointments, but yet she would just get back on that horse every single week and work so hard. This year, she switched to radio with Aaron. And yet when I asked her, she immediately jumped at the chance to help us at postseason. And she was an amazing, almost assistant coach for me during disco, during postseason, helping those who hadn't been in postseason yet with disco and things like that. And she is just an amazing, amazing young woman, and I cannot wait to see where she goes. There was an extraordinary amount of growth in Sarah from last year to postseason to this year. And now Aaron's going to speak on her a little bit.
Yeah, I just have a couple of words about Sarah, and but she was definitely one of the people who, so like I met her for the first time at like the Meet the Coaches Day, and I had her do an on the spot, which is like describe something, and I yelled at Mr. McCoy to stop walking as he walked across the courtyard, and he froze, and she described it in the most funny way. And throughout the year, she kind of helped make fun of everything, and she was always a bright light of humor and just made everything a whole lot better and a lot more tolerable, even though this year was very hard. So I just wanted to thank her for that and everything that she did. I do have another one. Trying to decide if I want to have them come up yet or not. Yeah, sure, why not? Gigi, would you come up here? I feel like it'll be fun to let you stand here awkwardly while I talk. I learned that from Dakota. So this is Gigi Hanner, by the way. You don't have to clap again. You can clap later. Okay, or clap. So I remember rushing to the school right after work. So I worked on a Saturday, and you were competing in the final round at the Munster competition. I sat outside your competition room and listened to your speech, and I was stoked at how good it was. I was just like, yes, let's go. You won that tournament, and I talked to you afterwards, and you said something along the lines of, let's do that again. And you did. And week after week, you came back to work sessions and competitions with the same drive and heart to succeed and win. You were regularly competing at the level and placing at the level of some of the state's top speakers in the event of radio. And as you grew in your skills and began refining your on-air personality, it was really fun to experiment with different ideas and kind of let our imaginations run, see what you liked and see what worked well. My favorite part about this whole thing is that this process isn't done yet, and I am extraordinarily proud of you and all of the things that you have done, and I cannot wait to see you continue to astound in the rest of your career. And just like seeing a tangerine doing the tango in a tornado, you made me go, whoa. What do you want a handshake? Fist bump, hug? What do you want? You're also a good place. You're welcome.
It's an optical illusion. Aaron is not tall. We're all really short. So I have two of my own and then some of Mr. Coots's. The first one is Payton Day. One of the differences between speech and debate is that speechies hide their competitiveness, debaters wear it front and center. But even among the ultra-competitive debaters, there are still the next level of competitors, and Payton Day fits one of those. He wants to beat you at anything. So much so, the worst thing you can ever tell him is you can't do that. And he really fits well into the personal growth category because that competitiveness and that feeling of you can't do this has confronted him this year as he wanted to do public forum really, really bad. There weren't partnerships that kind of fit for that, and he resisted, largely because we told him you can't do it. And he doesn't take that for an answer. We knew he was good at Congress last year. He had achieved in the postseason for us when he hadn't made his preferred event. And we talked to him from the beginning of the year of doing Congress. And still it was, but you told me I couldn't do public forum. About mid-season, he started truly embracing himself in congressional debate. He started leading work sessions from time to time, trying to motivate workers. Now, other people on the team questioned whether he was just trying to find their arguments so he could beat them in round. And we're not quite sure the answer of that. But we know if that was the reason, it worked because he placed really high at every tournament, including state final round. But that beginning of the acceptance of, I can do this other thing and I can do it well and I'm okay doing it well, is why Payton makes a great example of personal growth this year. My second to speak on is Alicia Drews. Alicia is an interesting character. She moved this year from Georgia, and she was in the A through K group, and she was masked, and she was there with other freshmen and novices, and she's quiet. She never spoke up. But from the very beginning of class, we saw her as ultra talented. She knew it right away. She was so far advanced for a novice and past her age. Except we didn't know what her age was. We thought she was a freshman. She kept telling us that she couldn't go because she had driver's ed, and we were like, oh, well, she's an old freshman. About halfway through, some of the senior policy members realized, I think she might be a junior. Well, she's a senior. We never got her to compete in debate at all. So you might wonder, why is she so high up at this award ceremony? At the end of the debate season, we needed people for speech, particularly poetry. And so they asked me who might be okay and who might want to do it. And she said yes. And she was really, really, really good. Kind of like how we expected she would be at debate. It has been a real pleasure, really the last quarter since she was competing at speech, that I got to know her. She's fascinating. She's going to go into missionary work. She has done ROTC. I'm pretty sure she could easily beat me up. And if there was ever a school incident, I'm hiding behind her instead of the other way around. Every time I get to peel back a layer and learn something new about her, I regret the fact that I've only gotten to know her 1 year. She could have done amazing things in our program if she had moved here sooner and we had figured these things out, but we still wanted to recognize her for what she did this year and name her for personal growth. All right. First up for Mr. Coots is Greta Burke. Here's what Mr. Coots says about Greta. Greta has become an essential part of the LD team through her hard work and talent, but even more so through her positive attitude and energy. Though she has often been tormented by self-doubt and a latent familiar inferiority complex. That's Mr. Coots, not me. She has proven to be her own person and a good debater with excellent potential. Next year, I expect her to grow in earned self-confidence, and even more, to let her curiosity out without trying to limit herself. To Greta, he says, don't be afraid to explore and ask questions. Up next is Hattie Hoham. Josh writes that Hattie began her debate career as an LDer, though she betrayed us and spent some time in a cave. Worth it. This year, however, she found her way back out of the cave and rejoined the LD, which alone would earn her a personal growth award. However, she has also proven to be a good teammate who brought some much needed empirical focus to an otherwise rationalist group. Hattie definitely helped her team improve and made herself a valuable asset in addition to her already admirable competitive skills. I've never gotten this name right, so it would be a miracle if I get it tonight. Luke Batrosky. Josh writes that Luke has been a stable force on the public forum team for several years. He may be reserved and unobtrusive, but his presence and consistency have helped the team adjust to changes, struggles, and personalities. Luke made great progress as a debater this year, and his abilities will certainly help him as he heads off to college this fall. I am glad to have had the chance to work with him and invite him to return to visit when he can. Next up is Sydney Pittman. He writes, Sydney was already a capable debater last year, even as a sophomore. And this year, she proved to be capable of adapting to challenging situations and different partnerships. It is because of her adaptability that she has earned this award for personal growth. Next year, I expect her to point her skills directly at the competition and make it look easy to the spectators. Spectators may be in a high round.
Oh, he thinks I'm so good.
I like the element of surprise, so you'll find that at the end. This is a fantastic category for the person that I'm going to speak about. Not only did I see immense personal growth in this student, but she also helped me with my personal growth. I was finishing up my degree in student teaching, and I can't tell you the amount of times that I texted her at 7 o'clock at night saying, hey, like I'm running late, can we do an 8 o'clock work session? She's like, yeah, absolutely. This person is amazing, and I was blessed to work with her. Hardworking, determined, those are just a couple of words that describe her. She really, really surprised me. And even though we might not have had the season that we wanted, she never gave up. And she was always eager to practice and what can I do to do better next week? What can I do? What can I do? And she didn't need me for that. She did it herself. And throughout this year, instead of asking, hey, what can I do? She's like, hey, this is what I'm going to do. And I loved that. I loved that she found this personal growth. She found this confidence. And I just hope that next year she comes back out and we just kick butt in our humor. And so Hannah Anders, thank you.
All right, I know this person's going to hate this. I'm going to go ahead and tell you who this is. Trina Gonzalez, you can go ahead and come up on here. She hates the spotlight, and I can already tell she's probably going to come up here and punch me at least once or twice. Wow, this person, I remember so many memories with Trina, going back to last year. I remember being the parliamentarian in her first ever Congress chamber and remembering how nervous she was for that. This person Trina has made tremendous strides this year. I remember the first time meeting her, it coming across that she really didn't care about debate. I think remember you saying that to me at least once or twice. But I could tell she really did care. She constantly sends me messages on Friday nights before tournaments on Slack to help her with cases, arguments, and finding evidence. However, she continues to show talent and progress throughout the year. She is somebody who has shown progress not only her sophomore year, but also this year. Last year, she was the top presiding officer her novice year at state congressional debates. And this year, she finally put it all together to be a national qualifier. Ask her, I don't know if she was as excited as I was to watch her qualify for nationals. I think you're starting to get working on stuff, and we have a work session tomorrow, but it's somebody who I am so excited for. She put it together this year, and I feel truly privileged to work with Trina. And she knows next year that I will be pushing her even harder, knowing that she's a national qualifier her junior year, to qualify again and to attend more tournaments next year. You better believe you're going to more. So put your hands together for one of the winners of Barb Funke's Personal Growth Award winner, Trina Gonzalez.
Thank you.
Okay, so I'm going to be presenting the category of outstanding speakers. And this category are the students who have been competing for about 3 or 4 years. So they're very experienced on the team. And they also are very reliable for postseason. These are kids that we really want the community to see, and we use them to represent us. And yeah, so I'm just going to dive in. Okay, so first up, I'm going to talk about Miranda Miller. So if you want to come on up here, I'll embarrass you like everyone else did. All right, Miranda is a junior. She is a 3-year speech lead. She was district runner-up in duo with her duo partner Natalie Nunez. And I know these girls were like, why are you excited for runner-ups? And I was like, well, because we have probably the most competitive district in the state, so be proud of that. Miranda was a state finalist in drama, which is so exciting because you were my first state finalist in drama, so kudos to you. Outside of her competitive record, Miranda is just so creative and fun. She offers her artistic abilities in more ways than just performing too. She decorates the room for us for special occasions, and it genuinely looks really good. She goes above and beyond in whatever she does on the team. She excels academically and is a great leader. She competes in drama and she does it very well. However, she's always cracking jokes and making the people around her smile. I'm so proud of you for your success this year. You were my first drama round, and I really just can't wait to see what else is in store for you.
So Miranda.
Okay, what's a Miranda without a Natalie? Can I get Natalie Nunez up here? Natalie is also a junior and a 3-year CT, and she and Miranda are duo partners. Natalie, let's see here. So this year, we had kind of a little bit of a late start, and it felt like we experienced maybe a few setbacks, but they definitely were not. We stepped right up to the plate and broke through your class stage. I got to watch Natalie get growth spurt as a performer and also as a person. She found confidence within herself to let go of whatever fears were holding her back, and she unlocked a new level of who she wants her role to be on this team. Natalie has become a great leader on the team because she has a gift for connecting with people. She is one of the funniest people I know, and is so much fun to be around. I look forward to our work sessions. Really only Natalie can stop right in the middle of a drama and then make a joke that literally has us laughing for about 15 minutes. Anyway, I think you're hilarious. I can't wait to see where you go next year, and I'm really happy to get to be your coach. All right, Caitlin, come on up here. Caitlin Popka is a senior. This is her 3rd year on the speech team, and she has succeeded in many accomplishments in her speech career. She broke at state this year, and she competed at districts. Caitlin, I know that our theme that we talked about was how this year just felt like a challenge, but I'm just really happy to say that I got to be by your side while you stepped through it. I'm so happy that I got to work with you for the 2 years that I have. You've impacted my life with the positivity that you bring to work sessions, and I'm just really excited to see where your journey takes you outside of speech and debate. Thank you.
The last person I get the privilege of speaking on, I don't believe is here, but it's for Heidi Boltz. Yeah, she's not here. Okay. I'm going to still talk about her because I'm going to make her watch this video. For those of you that know Heidi, you just know how amazing she is. She is so hardworking, and I don't have enough good things to say about her. She went through a lot of hardships and still managed to make speech one of her top priorities because she just felt at home. And it's just one reason why I love being a part of the speech and debate program, because it is like another home to a lot of these kiddos. I know that was for me, it was a getaway. And I love that she has that comfort zone that she can come and be with all of her friends that support and love her. It's actually because of Heidi. Last year I was just judging at districts, and I got to see around, and I was talking about her, and I'm like, oh my God, like I saw this girl in around in humor, she was amazing. And I come to find out that she was a Chesterton speechie. And I'm like, I want to be this girl's coach. Like, she is phenomenal. And it's thanks to her that really got me back into the love of speech. So I just, she makes me emotional, sorry. I don't have enough good things to say about her. I really don't. And I'm very proud of her. And I wish her nothing but the best. And here's the Heidi.
The person I've selected for this award is Dylan Levitt. Dylan Levitt is our next outstanding speaker, and not only is her speaking outstanding, but it is fabulous. From winning third place at state her freshman year to double finaling at state this year, her junior year, Dylan continues to be fearlessly creative and unambiguously passionate. Dylan's gift extends beyond the world of speech as well. She's a repeating lead actor in our plays and musicals at the school, a self-published and very skillful musician, and a person who will never hesitate to let someone know that she has your back. Congratulations, Dylan. There it is.
First one is one of mine, Milena Veltri. I've tried not to get too sentimental about the year that this was and how different it was, but it comes to the forefront in talking with Milena. Last year, I probably talked about how she brings me Chipotle, or at least she gets Chipotle and realizes that I'm going to take it, so she offers it to me. Milena's one of those who has oftentimes been remote. I just haven't seen her. We haven't chat, we haven't talked, we haven't been able to do as much with debate. It has not hurt her in any way, shape, or form. She's the state champion in policy debate and a deserved one. But I miss those conversations, not about Chipotle, but about the fact that she loves policy debate. She is not afraid of embracing her inner debate nerd, as I affectionately call it, which I describe myself as. She will impact turn you, and if you kick out of it, she will remind you that the perm links you back in, and she'll do it with a huge smile on her face. And there's like 3 people in here that know what that means, and she's one of them. And I just think it's so amazing. So Milena, I can't wait till we get back to those work sessions next year and see where we end up. All right, the next 3 are Mr. Kootz's. He has Bella Aricchio first. Ricchio. Bella. 4 years, she reminds me, multiple classes. I get Bella right. Josh's words. I could tell that Bella was going to be an important member of the LD team from her novice year. She was energetic, charismatic, intelligent, and curious. She also had a way of telling seemingly pointless stories that were nonetheless fascinating. Since then, however, she has developed into a capable debater and was always reaching for her potential. I know that I may have been hard on her from time to time, but it was only because I saw what was possible if she could only unlock it. I hope that my efforts will help her in some way as she now moves on from us and into college. Congrats, Bella. Up next is Nathan Osborne. Josh writes, Nathan has been a debater with outstanding potential since I first met him, though he may have been too afraid to get help from me at first. In spite of his self-doubt, he has proven to be a capable speaker and debater. I expect great things from him next year, and I have no doubt that he can accomplish them as long as he tempers his humility with courage and his doubt with wisdom. Congrats, Nate. And my last one in this category is Zoe Swanson. Zoe has become an outstanding member of the debate team and probably the single kindest LDer that I've ever met. I mean, the bar for that kind LDer isn't super high, but Zoe sets it out of reach for almost everyone. But it isn't Zoe's kindness that earned her this recognition. Zoe has consistently improved as a debater throughout her time with us and can reason and question with the best of them. Maybe be a little less nice in college though, Zoe. Not too much, but a little. Our next category for the evening is James Cavallo's Outstanding Performers. Now you might wonder, speakers, performers, that kind of sounds the same. We created that category last year because the kids in this level fit the performer, and we forgot to change it back. So the plaques do say outstanding performers, and I assure you that every single member in this category is an outstanding performer. But when you hear what people say about them, think about program contribution. These people have done it all, and they've given back. Not just performing for our team, but helping our team and helping others. I have a number of people in this category to talk about. The first is Mark Jewison. Mark is Melena's partner and therefore also a state champion. Since I said that Melena was capable, I should probably mention that Mark is capable too. Mark got through the pandemic doing what we needed him to do, which was, even though he was tired, probably exhausted, and probably only 50% interested, he went on after state debate and did state speech and made final round. He did district speech even though he was already qualified in his main event, made final round and qualified again. He then went on to district Congress to serve as a blocker to assist and help a teammate, who then qualified, and he also qualified. There's a rumor out there that Mark's pretty good at this. All of the things that have been said before go. It's wonderful to work with him. He is a person who other people can look to at his skill and work ethic and emulate. And amazingly, as good as this year was, we look forward to next year with the possibility of even more. Congrats, Mark. My next up is Ryan Donovan. Ryan is among the about 5 or 6 kids on the team that I'm guessing are academic All-Americans, but I didn't have time to ask them if they qualified for it. But I know his test scores because he took me to the 5% club. And he got to remind me of something. He was really bad at the beginning. which I did not remember at all. And I went back and looked at his NFL points, and I saw a couple of things. One, I saw a lot of 1-3 tournaments mixed in with a 4-0 and a 3-1 his freshman year. But something else I forgot, he was on our state team all 4 years, and he broke in policy debate all 4 years. I don't know that that has ever happened in the history of our program. Previously, I knew of Colin May, who's an art teacher here, who made the policy debate team for state all 4 years and never broke once at state. Awesome guy, take his art classes. But I don't know if anybody's ever done that. He was picked for the Garin Excellence in Debate Award, and we used up a lot of the good words about Ryan as Tom kind of described him, and they are all true. A dedicated worker, dedicated to speech and debate, willing to drop other things to be better at this activity, willing to learn from who knows where because he was doing things that I never taught him to. He is going to be sorely missed because there are massive amounts of things he contributes to this program as an outstanding performer. So congrats, Ryan. Next up, he couldn't be here because of a vacation, is Ethan Dibble. Now, Ryan might not admit it, but I think he agrees with what I'm about to say about his partner. He doesn't get enough credit. Ryan's good. He's not as good to carry the Dibble that you all think Dibble is. Ethan is a dedicated worker. He is serious and he can speak. He knows what he's doing. He knows what he's good at. He doesn't brag and he doesn't go outside of his comfort zone. Ryan absorbs some of that credit, but Ethan is part of the engine that made Ryan and Ethan state champions. He is part of that engine that made them the most feared team this year, the team that everybody was prepping, a shield for the rest of the team as we were bringing younger kids up to the policy team. Those two guys took all of that on and they never complained about any of that burden. I challenged them freshman year to come out of the practice rooms and join the team. I challenged them sophomore year to become leaders on the team, and they both stepped up to do it. So next time I see Ethan, I will proudly shake his hand, thank him for those contributions, because we will be a worse team off without Ethan Dibble.
All right, Rebecca. Here we go. I think everybody knew that it was going to be Rebecca I'm talking about. For some reason, the two of us have clicked like peanut butter and jelly or something. I don't know. When I first started to think about what to say about this incredible young lady, my mind started going in a million different directions, which is exactly how every single work session has gone. However, Rebecca always makes magic out of whatever work session we have. I'll just throw some things out there and she'll just run. And she'll say something and we'll bounce things off each other, and all of a sudden it's this amazing idea that she's come up with. You're so creative. You are so out of a box thinker, and I love that, you know. When I said to the info group last year, all right, guys, this is enough. We're not doing all the blackboards. We're going to think of something really super cool to do. Rebecca comes out with all this jewelry and starts putting it on these boards and this jewelry box. Like, yes, that's what I'm thinking of, but I didn't know I was thinking of that. And then this year she used cardboard boxes in a way that was so creative, and I thought I would have never thought of that. I just absolutely love the way that you can take something that I say and you run with it. So I always tell her, I'm not really your coach, I'm just your sounding board. Rebecca had many goals for herself in speech, and she's reached almost all of them, including placing third in state this year after working so hard the last few years to break in state, and going to 2 nationals. And this year, we're hoping to get that last goal up on the right, okay. I'm just super excited to see where you go, and I just adore you.
The next person we have is Tim Wheeler. Okay. So Tim came into the program after his freshman year. Across the 3 years of public forum, he's also done extemp speaking and impromptu. Tim has done nothing but improve and has been an invaluable leader throughout the entire program across his 3 years. He's done a wonderful job of helping novices, especially impromptu, extemp, and public forum. During his junior year, him and his partner Nick formed one of the best public forum teams here at Chesterton High School. This year, Tim has continued to be one of the top extemporaneous speakers and impromptuers. This year, Tim broke to semifinals in impromptu and finished in the top 24 in the state. I know Tim has a very, very bright future ahead of him. He actually talked to me on the way in and told me that he's going to Indiana University to study political science. And I'm so interested to see where life takes Tim from here. Mr. Coots also has something he wanted to say. Tim Wheeler may have joined debate as a sophomore, but he has made himself an essential part of the team through his ability, his charisma, and team spirit. Tim learned quickly and made significant progress last year, though it was really this year where he started to shine. I expect Tim to continue to do good things, to do even more so to do good things. I'm proud to have coached him and to give him this outstanding performer award.
Okay, Lily, come on up. So Lily is one of our 4-year seniors, and she had a very successful year. Dakota got to brag about her a little bit earlier, but I'm gonna do it again because she should be very proud. Lily was a double district champion in drama and boy, and then turned around the next weekend to do it all over again by double championing at state. Also, Lily was the first female winner of program oral interpretation, and I think she deserves a round of applause for that. Lily was very successful. She has so far got her postseason, which is what we hope for everybody. But I wasn't surprised. I mean, Lily is one of the most talented actors I have ever worked with. I've acted in high school and I've acted collegiately, and I've never witnessed someone with the skills that Lily has. I'm honored to have been her coach. She really just amazes me. I mean, every time you perform, you have to leave the room and you just blow me away. In our work sessions, it is honestly difficult to find ways to push her to discover and unlock new skills because she brings so much to the table all on her own. Other than being a fantastic performer, Lily is a friend to the team. She looks out for the youngsters and makes new members feel comfortable and welcome. She spends her free time offering her eyes and her knowledge to her teammates that need help. She's a wonderful leader on the team and will be missed. Remember, Lily, you had as much success in speech as we did because you worked hard and wouldn't settle until you were amazing at it. I can't even speak to you anymore.
person I'd like to honor for this award is Anna Sanders. Anna has a story in speech that is unique. There aren't a whole lot of people who get to have a story like hers throughout the history of a program. And the reason it is so unique is because Anna went through the program at a time and worked with a coach where she was able to punctuate the end of an era that was so successful they stopped giving out the national title because our school won it too many times, and write the first pages of the era that's going to come after it. Anna is a dedicated worker and a compassionate leader. When she speaks, people listen. Because whether it's a technique about speech or an insight about life, they know that what Anna has to say matters. Anna is one of few students in our program's history to compete in original oratory all 4 years, which is an event where she finds causes and solutions to some of the biggest and most pressing issues that our society is facing. This year, she quarterfinaled at state in oratory, semifinaled in prose, qualified to the national tournament in June, and was a quarterfinalist at the national circuit tournament in Apple Valley. Anna, I know that you are going to take the skills that you learned from speech and find ways to do the same thing in the real world. I believe our world needs people like you now more than ever. Congratulations. Stay up here. I'll stay up here for this one. Spacebar. Our final category is the Joe Wyckoff Most Valuable in the Program, the MVP Award. This is not an award that we give out every year. Every year we have students who give their all and do everything that they can, but some years we have students who stand out more than others. When someone receives this award, it is someone who has shown their worth and dedication to the speech side of the program, the debate side of the program, and everything in between, from the fundraising efforts that we have to whatever silly ideas Mr. Lowry comes up with, like the variety show that we have to put on. This is a person who, when you hear their name, you will watch all of the students in the room go, oh yeah. So there's this little thing that we have called Speech Coach Fight Club. It's not real, that's a joke. But I am not actually introducing this person. Unfortunately, I'm only introducing a category because in Speech Coach Fight Club, Danielle has a really mean right hook. So presenting the award is going to be Danielle this evening.
I'm going to have her stay where she's at for now, but it is my honor to stand up here and speak about this person. And this person is Matea Skloot. I've been up here for 2 hours just trying to hold it together, so I'm going to do my best, but I can't make any promises. Matea chose me this past summer, I think before I was even officially a coach, to coach her in an event that neither of us had any experience in. In fact, the event, Informative Speaking, did not even exist when I was in the program 25 years ago. But Matea knows where she wants to go, and she knows exactly how she wants to get there. And this year, the strangest of years, she wanted to write an info. Her absolute faith in me and her vision for what we could achieve together was both humbling and inspiring. So we got to work. Not surprisingly, Matea crushed every one of her goals. Matea and her info will forever be my first ever completed piece of work as a coach, my first ever state finalist, and my first ever national qualifier. She is also the state champion in broadcasting, the first female to achieve this in over 10 years. When Matea began her career in broadcasting, she was often the only female in the event. She is a trailblazer, opening the door for more women to succeed in a male-dominated field. But Matea was not done. When her speech season was over, she made the state team in World School Debate. She qualified for nationals in congressional debate. To be clear, Matea qualified for nationals in 3 events: info and extemp on the speech side, and Congress on the debate side. Matea is also an accomplished student, the top 5% in her class, a unique, thoughtful, and brilliant artist, and she will be giving the commencement speech at graduation this year. Even more importantly, Matea is the ultimate teammate. In a year of challenges and loss, when enthusiasm was sometimes hard to come by, we were all personally encouraged by Matea and emboldened and inspired by her success. Be very cautious in your interactions with Matea. You will walk away believing that you can do anything. Matea and I have said many times that we loved every second of working together. Towards the end of our season, she wrote me a little note that said, in part, "I only wish that we could have written more." I believe that this is one of the more satisfying feelings in life, to have poured your heart and soul into something, and as it's coming to an end, to say, I just don't want this to be over. That is what it's like to work with Matea. And that is why our 2021 Speech and Debate MVP is Matea Skloot.
We are at the end. A couple of things as I notice that my battery is about to die. Thank you for sharing your kids with us. They dedicate a lot of time to this. This was not easy. I cannot be more proud of all of our kids. We have 2 national tournaments, one of which starts in 9 days. And we are excited about continuing this season. But I want to end with this idea of we couldn't have done this season without. I think Danielle said it very well, where Matea at times inspired us. We did our best to keep it together through a really rough year, because if the kids saw us struggle, it was going to make it impossible for them. I don't know that we managed to hide it perfectly, and there were times that we relied on them and their excitement. We could not have had this season without the students. We could not have had it without a dedicated coaching staff. We couldn't have had it without the parents that supported us throughout, including judging, providing food, and encouraging that you did at home to keep with it. There were probably times that most people in this room thought about saying, not this year. And they're all here. And I can't thank you enough. I have to thank the alumni. We didn't fundraise this year. The alumni filled our entire budget. The people that have gone before know the value of this program. The people who are in it know the value of this program. And it's why Chesterton Speech and Debate will continue on, hopefully for another 50 years. This concludes our portion of the evening. There's two things that I put out for people to come get. The bigger packet is our program history, particularly if you have a senior. You want to grab that white booklet, because if your kid has ever qualified for nationals, individual state final round, that type of stuff, their name is in that. It's the whole history of our program. The second smaller sheet is just a list of all of the winners and their categories, something that can make it into scrapbooks, that can make it into graduation parties, etc. So feel free to grab as many of those as you want. I have more of those than the big sheets. At this point, our awards night is over. We will go on next to the cafeteria where we will turn some stuff over to the kids. That is completely optional. I would go home if I was allowed to, but you're welcome to join us in the cafeteria where the students will talk a little bit about the coaches. Due to COVID, we don't have food this year, which normally is the big draw for that. So if you call it tonight, thank you very much for coming and sharing time with us. To anybody who received a personal growth award, an outstanding speaker, an outstanding performer, or MVP, we want to take pictures for the newly refounded Chesterton Tribune. So if you can come up onto stage, we will get that done. Thank you. Drive safe. Stay safe.